What happens when the most powerful man in the West makes a private offer to one of Africa's most fearless leaders and gets rejected flat? This isn't just another political stunt. This is a true story about oil, gold, and integrity. Begins with a silent offer from Washington, and ends with a global power shift that nobody saw coming in early 2025. Just as global markets were reeling from conflict and instability, whispers began circulating across West Africa. A high-level delegation, rumored to be linked to former US President Donald Trump's business allies, had made a covert approach to the office of Burkina Faso's President Captain Ibrahim Traoré. The offer? Access to untapped gold reserves and prime oil fields in exchange for one thing: loyalty. Not loyalty in name. Loyalty in policy. The deal involved guaranteed mining contracts, resource-sharing agreements, and even soft foreign support in exchange for alignment with US interests in the Sahel region. But Traoré, the young dark-skinned former soldier, who had risen from the ranks of Burkina Faso's people, did something few expected. He said no, not diplomatically, not in a delayed statement. He rejected the deal outright and doubled down on sovereignty. Before we continue, let's understand who Ibrahim Traoré really is. A former commando, a disciplined bodybuilder, a man shaped by war but defined by resistance. When he seized power in 2022, many thought he was just another military leader. But instead of clinging to foreign aid or begging for Western loans, Traoré did something radical. He began cleaning house. He shut down exploitative mining contracts, expelled foreign mercenaries, and restructured the nation's defense from within. Above all, he told the world that Burkina Faso would no longer be dictated to by Washington, Paris, or Brussels. The real motive behind the offer now. Let's get one thing straight. This wasn't charity. The US offer to Traoré was business. With West Africa holding vast reserves of natural resources, global powers know that whoever controls that flow controls influence. Burkina Faso, under Traoré, it started building new partnerships with Russia, China, and neighboring African states. That sent shockwaves through traditional power structures. The West, especially Trump's allies, who still hold business interests in oil and mining, saw the writing on the wall. And so, they tried to strike early, to pull Traoré back into the fold, but it backfired. Traoré's response reports suggest. Traoré responded to the proposal with a single statement, later confirmed by a senior advisor: Burkina Faso is not for sale. Our gold will build our schools, not your empires. This wasn't just a quote, it became a rallying cry across the Sahel. Crowds took to the streets in Ouagadougou with placards reading "No more foreign masters in our land. Our rules." Before we go deeper, make sure you hit that like button if you believe in African independence and bold leadership. Comment below, what would you do if your president got such an offer? What this means for Africa. Traoré's rejection was, in just symbolic. It marked a tectonic shift. For decades, African countries have been subjected to backdoor deals, coercive diplomacy, and conditional aid. But this time, the script flipped. Instead of bowing to pressure, Traoré doubled down on internal development, invested in local infrastructure, expanded the Faso Mebo A initiative, and launched education reforms. And guess what? Without a single IMF loan, Burkina Faso is showing the continent that self-determination isn't a myth. It's possible, and it starts with saying no. Why this matters globally? This story isn't just about Africa, it's about the global balance of power. When a small nation refuses to kneel before the richest powers on earth, it exposes something uncomfortable. Control is a choice, and many countries are now watching Burkina Faso closely. Niger, Mali, Chad, South Africa have started re-evaluating their foreign policy stances. Traoré's actions have inspired a quiet wave of resistance, not against the West, but against dependency. If you're finding this eye-opening, share this video with someone who still believes Africa needs permission to rise. And subscribe to Mental Flight for more bold, untold stories like this. Western media silence. Have you noticed something? While this story has exploded in African media, you won't hear it on CNN or BBC. There's a reason. This narrative doesn't fit the template of a struggling Africa begging for help. It doesn't serve the donor class image. But here at Mental Flight, we don't hide the truth. We report what matters. We tell it as it is. No spin, no strings. It's just fact. What lies? Ahead, is Traore playing a dangerous game? Perhaps. Saying no to superpowers has its risks. Economic retaliation, media smear campaigns, political isolation. But Traore doesn't seem fazed. His bet is simple. A united, resource-rich Africa can stand tall without being puppeteered. And honestly, the results so far are promising. Burkina Faso's economy is diversifying. Infrastructure is expanding. And youth employment has surged under national programs. The country still faces challenges, but it's moving on its own terms. At Mental Flight, we believe the world doesn't need more filters. It needs clarity. That's why we bring you powerful stories grounded in truth, because when a leader like Traore says no to billions, what he's really saying is, our dignity is worth more. If you felt that, then this channel is for you. Comment and share this video. Let others know Africa is not asleep, it is awake, alert, and rewriting the rules. Subscribe to Mental Flight. The journey has just begun.